Battle of the dusty trails by night, with my brother and his rifle on my right, seeking that elusive score to retire, crave no more. One big score, a final hit to make our mark, then we quit. But chaos calls, pulls me near. In the madness, I feel clear. Every height's a thrill I chase, leaving shadows in my place. For the name I carve in stone, the legacy, a life unknown. One big score, then we're done, right into that setting sun. But deep within I crave the fight. In the chaos I see the light. Haunted by my father's fall, golden gun smoke, that's my call. The life I lead, it's in my veins. Chaos whispers still remain. One big score, we're almost there. The final rush, do I dare? I'll see you in hell. I'll see you in hell. See you in hell.
That was One Big Score, the ballad of Quentin Leroy. As you can tell, he's kind of lying to himself in that whole thing. I need to pause myself on this thing, making sure the tubes are working. Thank you guys for joining in. This is the Lion's Den. I'm stepping into the Lion's Den. I'm here to listen to concerns, complaints, criticisms, all the negativity. Feed it to me. Feed me, Seymour. I'm here for all that. I'm also, this is an open forum. This is a live chat. Woo, let's go. We're ready. All right, we're here. If you got an email from me, it included two links. One to the live stream, which you are clicking on, I can see. And then the other is to this stream, like the inside. Like, so if you want to come on and just have a conversation with me, and be on the live stream. Everybody can, I mean, at that point, everybody can hear you too. You just be a part of it, like actually be a part of the conversation that way. I invite you to. This is an open forum to everybody, because what I'm trying to do here, what I really want to do is I want to make this the most successful campaign humanly possible for High Noon. And I know that we got an upward hill, we got an upward climb, we've got an upward battle against us. We are doing quite well though. We're sitting at 34,000, just I mean, actually almost 35,000 guys. We're almost there. 19 days to go, almost to funding. And I know that, a lot of people want to see the stretch goals, and so do I. So, I've done what I believed up to now was everything I could possibly do to get us there, including, I'm giving a $100 credit to anybody who goes all in. You can use that towards your pledge. So you can get you can get a refund, or you can use it to get more stuff for free. It's $100 for you to spend however you want. And I'm also doing a match pledge. So anybody who goes in at the Buckaroo level, or anybody who goes in all in, I'm pledging myself on the campaign. So $25 for every Buckaroo and $50 for every all in. I want to make sure that the tubes are going. I want to make sure we're streaming good. So I want to make sure everybody can hear me loud and clear. But I'm not getting any negative bars, so it looks like we're good to go. But I did have, we've got 1,800 people in the stream. We've got not in the stream, in our Facebook group. Just in our Facebook group alone, 1,800 people. We got about 23,000 subscribers to High Noon. So when we're sitting at 165 backers, I mean, I can't ignore that, right? Like I can't, like, there's something not jiving, right? There's a lot of people who are jumping on, and we're all grateful to have you on board. All of us, including the other backers, we're grateful. But to me, this indicates a possibility. It's a potential indication that people are sitting on the fence. They just haven't seen what they need to see to be a value. And so I put out the call. I put out the call for people to come on and share whatever their thoughts were, what might be the reason why you're sitting on the fence. Because I don't have a lot of ego. I mean, I do as a man, but if there's something that can be better, I want it to be better. If there's something I can do to improve, I want to improve it. And there's no such thing as a perfect campaign. So, I tried my best going into the campaign to set up the best offerings that would give you the best options. And my initial approach was a limited approach. I didn't want to give like an analysis paralysis, like a paralysis of opportunity, where you go in and there's so many options on how to jump in, you don't know how to choose, and so you just back out. So when we started, we had like 4 pledge options. There was basically a pledge for people who didn't have the game, never had the game, and it was kind of like a good like all-in pledge. It's called the Buckaroo Pledge, and this was actually developed by a very good friend of mine, a good colleague of mine. His name is Billy Holcomb, and we designed this. We actually designed this as a bundle at our trade shows, and it works very well. It sells very well because people play the game and they love it, and then they're like, you know what? Yeah, I want these different things, and so that was I put together the bundle for that. And so it's a Buckaroo Pledge. It gives you the game plus all the upgrades, but it's basically centered around the starter set. And then we had the Outlaw Pledge for people who already had the starter set, but they wanted the new stuff. And so that's what the Outlaw Pledge was basically for the new stuff. And then I had 2 different options for all-ins, because I wanted to have an all-in option because a lot of people like all-in options. But I realized that some people might already have the game. They already have the starter set. They don't need it, but they want all the other stuff. So that's why I created the Maverick and the Legend Pledge. So you had 4 pledges. And then what I found was and we had a really good start, right? We had a really good launch. But then when it started petering out, there was some feedback, and they're like, well, it's just too expensive. It's too expensive of a jump for me. And I was like, okay, well, how can I make a pledge level that's like not expensive, right? Like not killing the bank. And that's when I created the Novelist Pledge. It's $30. It gives you access to the add-ons, and for $30, you get a signed copy of the book, and you get a deck of the High Noon poker cards. So you get a little bit of a game. Like you get some novelty items, a novelist, a novelty, you get a novel, and it's all part of the High Noon universe. But there was a lot of people, and some people jumped on it because some people are really excited about the book. But then some people were like, no, I want the game. This doesn't help me out. I want the game. And so that's when I thought, okay, well, I could do just the starter set. Like you can't have High Noon without the starter set, right? You can't. I mean, you can theoretically, you can pledge, right? Like you can play the game with just expansions. I mean, it is kind of a Pokemon style game that way, where you could theoretically have 2 expansions, and that's all you have, and then you play those 2 expansions together. You won't have the loot decks unless you buy the expansion loot. So you could do that. You could theoretically get 2 expansions and the expansion loot volume 1, and you're good to go. You could do that. But for the vast majority of people, you're going to at least want the starter set. It comes with the loot crate, the loot decks. It comes with the rule book for as much of a dumpster fire as it is. It's a good enough it's a box that sets you up for up to 4 players. So it's like, that's the entry. So I created just that, the Pilgrim Pledge, right? Like there it is. There's the game, and it's at 25% like off retail. So it's like it's right there. Like you're not going to get a better price for that. And then you get access to the add-ons, which are also 25% off. And so we got a couple of that, right? We got a couple of pledges there. When I talked about it on the streams, then people jumped all in. They went to the all-ins. I'm like, well, there you go. You're going to do that anyway, right? I even added onto the all-ins. I said, look, if you stay in and you're all in, then even if we don't hit the stretch goals, when we produce Governor McGrady, I'll send them to you. I'll ship them to you. And that got a couple people to buy all in. But we just had like it just. We went a whole day today with no pledges, and that's not. I mean, I'm not gonna like. I'll be real. Like that's not a good sign. Like I know that there's generally people count on like, oh well, the last 7 days or the last 72 hours, you're gonna, that's when you really get a big surge. I don't like counting on that. I don't like counting on the possibility of that. Like I live in the moment. What's going on right now? That's the only check that I can cash. So I'm trying to do everything I can in my power to make this successful for all of you. If you're watching this and you're a backer, I want to make this successful for you. And if you are sitting on the fence, you've seen this and you're considering it and you're like, I just don't know. I want to make this worth your while. I want to make this the biggest value for you. And so that's why I opened up this stream. That's why I'm doing this stream, because I want to get feedback. I wanted to get feedback from all of you about, about these pledges, about what can I do? What can I do as a publisher to earn your support? I'm the most accessible publisher out there. You're not going to find a single publisher more accessible than me. I tell everybody all the time, I've got 2 phones. Okay, here they are. Here's the 2 phones, and both of them have the Discord app on them. So if you're part of the Discord group, which is free, you just join. Just click the link and join it. You know what? And I don't know if I put the link on here. I think I did, but if I didn't, I'll put it on later. Or you can go to the campaign page right now, and the link is in there. Join the Discord, and you will be in both of my back pockets. There's no other publisher out there with a lot of product on the floor, and a lot of fans, a lot of activity that's gonna give you that kind of access. I will, and that is my pledge to you. That's my objective. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to give you that value, and this is part of it. Is being here to hear the uncomfortable truths about how you're feeling, right? And because I want you to, I need to hear it. I need to hear, whatever it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Pun intended. Jason Smez, the pledge levels are awesome. Great job on the Buckaroo pledge, Billy. Thank you, Jason. Here's your $5. So I did have some like I said, I invited people to, if they couldn't make the stream, just send me a message. Just send me a message on, in Facebook or anywhere. Shoot an email. I posted in our Facebook group. I was like, here, leave your comments here if you can't make the stream. And so we got some comments, and I'll address those. I'm not going to make excuses for everything. I'm going to try to do what I can. And actually, before the stream, right before the stream, about a couple hours ago, I put a poll out in the Discord server about a possible solution, a possible thing that I could do, and I got votes in, and I pulled the trigger on it. I'm full of puns today, so I pulled the trigger on it, and so I've actually made a change to the campaign. You'll notice it if you go, but I'll talk about that toward the end of the stream. And but we'll go over the comments here. So somebody asked, they said, I'm a ride or die from the original campaign. What do I do about pledging? I did not think we needed to go back to receive the additional expansions. You don't. Ride or die backers do not have to pledge on this campaign. You can. I appreciate it. I appreciate if you would. Every dollar counts, right? Every dollar, every bit of support counts. It goes a long way. But this is that was my word to you as a ride or die. If we reach funding and we go into production, you don't have to pay for anything. And for those of you listening who don't know what ride or die is and be like, well, that doesn't sound fair. My ride or die was an exclusive program that I ran at the campaign back in 2021. I was a nobody back then. I didn't have any product, didn't have anything to show for myself. And this was on the cusp of a lot of Kickstarter scams going out there, stealing millions of dollars of people's money, backers' money, and leaving them with nothing to show for it. And, here they are coming to me, and I'm like, hey, here's an all-in pledge for a promise, a trust me, bro, for $300. People were willing to do that. Despite all this history with all these other scammers, they were willing to do that. And I said, okay, because you are willing to do that despite all these things that you have faced through all of this, I'm going to my way of thanking you is you are now my ride or die posse. Anything I produce until the end of time, you will get. That is anything High Noon related, you will get. All you got to do is pay for shipping. And that is my word. I gave my word on that. That is my word I'm going to honor. And that's what the ride or die is. Those are people from our last campaign. I'm doing something similar for this campaign, which is if you go all in, I'm going to give you Governor McGrady when we produce him, whether we unlock him on this campaign or not. When we do produce him, and we will, you'll get him. You'll get a notification. All you got to do is pay for shipping. It's like a ride or die light. I can't keep giving ride or dies, guys. I'm gonna die. I will go go bankrupt if I do that. But that was kind of my way of saying thank you for the all-ins. But yeah, so ride or dies don't need to do anything. I mean, spread the word. If you want to give me money, great. But you don't need to do anything. Somebody, David Underwood says, I'm a little puzzled by the slow uptake. If nothing else, the 3D buildings look great. Thank you. They do. I'm very pleased with them, and they're not even in their final form. Like, I'm still updating their artwork. As a matter of fact, I just got the final artwork in for the clock tower, and it looks great. It's got so much character. I can't wait to show you guys. And it'll probably, the prototype for it will probably come in after the campaign's over. But we'll keep the late pledges open, and we'll move this into a pre-order phase. If we get funding, we'll move this to a pre-order phase, and and then we'll keep I'll keep doing updates like this. This one was I got one here. And I'll share the screen, I guess. Let me see if I can share the screen here. I'm gonna show more than I probably should. Here we are. All right. So he says right here, honest answer for myself. As I won't be able to join for the live stream, I have enough content from this game. I just consolidated what I have into 2 boxes, although the tiles don't quite fit. The additional content for this campaign isn't enticing for myself. The clock tower and additional expansions aren't necessary for me. I have 10 posses to choose from when playing, and that's enough. I do wish the tokens and chip upgrade was a better option. I don't think the upgrade of those tokens is enough to upgrade the base game, let alone enough to upgrade all the chips and tokens with playing more than 4+ in that regard. Yeah. Okay. So I want to take this bite by bite. I got nothing for somebody who says, it's just not enticing. I get it. Like, I mean, unless you play with it, you're not going to know. And even if you play with it, it might not be for you. And, that's fine. Then not everything is going to be for everybody, and nothing I make is going to be for everybody. So, I mean, I think it ends there. But when we're talking about the chips and token upgrade pack, like, it's funny because I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place in a lot of areas, and one of them is producing things like an upgrade pack. It is an aesthetic. I mean, there was somebody who wrote a review and they were like, oh my gosh, like everybody is overlooking these chips and tokens. Oops. They're like these are the best thing ever. Like you wouldn't know, because there's a weight to the chips and tokens. Like they're beautiful. They're heavy. They just add a new layer of enjoyment for the game, but they're not necessary. And I didn't want them to be necessary because I'm an old school guy. I just want to make a game that you could play right out of the box. Like you don't need the upgrade. You don't need the upgrade for the chips and tokens, but it is a really good upgrade. It's a great upgrade. But I can't create a pack of chips and gold that will cover all of the expansions. That would just be insane. First of all, it'd be super expensive to produce and super expensive to sell to you. And most people don't have, 10 posses. Most people have a handful. So I had to design the chips and gold in such a way that you buy a few packs and then you kind of like, you can upgrade as you go. As you buy more expansions, you buy like a pack or two of the upgrades. And that goes to the whole thing about like, that's why one pack is not enough to cover the starter set. Because if a pack was enough to cover the starter set, then you would have way too many. If you got, like let's say you got a pack for the starter set and then you got like another expansion posse. Well, now you don't have enough for the expansion posse, right? So you got to go buy another pack of the chips and gold. But now you have so much of that. Like you've got way too much chips and gold. And I'll tell you, you don't want that. Like it becomes a storage issue. It becomes a problem with storage. So I created them in smaller packs. But at the same time, like that's one, it's expensive. The pieces are expensive. The gold piece is as much as the miniature. And I know that sounds crazy, but like that's how the things are priced. So that pack of gold is actually the chips and gold pack actually cost me more to produce than Monko and Macat. Like the Monko and Macat expansion posse cost me less to produce, even though it's minis, it's cards, it's tiles. It costs way more to produce than the chips and gold. It's crazy. What? Hang on a second. This guy, Strike, you're alive. The man lives. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. What you up to?
Oh, we're just having a stream, just doing this live stream. Good to see you, man. I was going to reach out to you. I was wondering how you were doing.
Oh, I've been doing a hectic thing. I'm actually in the middle of transitioning to getting a new job here. So,
oh, congratulations! I see you got your cats.
Yep, they're running around all over.
So I don't know if you noticed if you knew what we were talking about on this stream. Did you get the emails or anything like that?
I literally just got back from work, sat down, saw what was going on here, and I'm like, click.
Nice. There we go. That's what I love. So we're here just talking about people's concerns about the campaign, really like what might be keeping them on the fence for jumping on the campaign. And so I'm basically having like an open forum and inviting feedback, and then I'm addressing the feedback and seeing if there's things I can change, things I can make better. And so I was just reading this comment, and I see Nana's joined has a comment. I'll get to that in just a second, but I do want to finish this comment here. That was the thing about the chips and gold. That's why the chips and gold are sized the way they are, because otherwise it would just be cost prohibitive for all involved. He goes on to say, let's see. I'm looking at upgrading chips and gold. Oh, he's going to do it himself, whatever. As far as the tiles, the images on the backer kit still show the original base game tiles, even though other images shown are the upgrade tiles. And this could be my fault and confusion. In the story section of the page, I'm showing what is actually in the starter set. The campaign itself is about producing more of the upgrade tiles. So yes, in the starter set, you get the starter tiles, because I produced these starter sets like 5 years ago, and I have 3,000 of them. I don't have 3,000 starter set upgrade tiles. This is what's in the box. So then he says, I think the newer improved tiles should be standard going forward, and those tiles should be included at all. And I agree. if we do reprints of High Noon, well, it's not that we'll be doing reprints of High Noon. There's going to be a lull where I go through a lot of this inventory. I plan on doing a whole what do you call it? A remaster of the game. And at that point, I want to do like a whole new sculpts for the minis. And I want to include the upgrade tiles. Like I'm going to update everything. The box will be bigger. I might even do like a big box set where all the expansions will fit in the box. The box will be sized for the tiles so that the Bandera Blonde tile won't be won't be bent. But there you go. So that will be a thing moving forward. He goes on at that point. He's talking about the storage. He's talking about the expansion loot is not enough. Okay. I mean, I don't know. For me, the expansion loot is like loot is the color of the loot is what makes the game so dynamic. But I could be wrong, Strike. What do you say? What say you?
When it comes to the loot, the only thing that I think was kind of unfortunate is how the cards are different sizes.
Yeah,
and you already mentioned about the different suppliers and the like, but that's the only thing that I see that was any trouble whatsoever with the loot. I mean, everything is. I don't see any real problems with the games whatsoever. So, and again, when you're talking about the remaster with the new updated tiles, I mean that means that these original tiles are going to be like vintage. These are going to be like limited edition.
Collector's edition, right? Throw them on eBay. If you keep Derek Moore, if you keep your tiles in pristine condition, you can be a millionaire, sir, on eBay. On that, you can trust me. Yeah, that's a great point. And hey, the same thing to go with the wrong size cards, huh? Yeah. So that was a point. That's actually that's why one of the stretch goals for the campaign is a reprint of the instruction manual and the cards, the loot cards, because and those if we unlock that, I will include that in everybody's pledges, whether they're all in or not. You're gonna get a reprint of the loot cards from the starter set and the rule book from the starter set, so that your game will be perfect. That is
not that it isn't already. I mean,
more
posses,
but shucks. All right, so we had that. Let's jump over to Nana's joint. So Nana has a dumb question: with the $100 bonus and the $50 with the Maverick, could be around a $295. Am I right? No, the $50 pledge match is me pledging to the campaign to help us get higher and higher to reach our stretch goals. The $100 is to you. The $50 is to the campaign, and that's from my pocket. So actually, the math on that would be, I mean, I'm looking at it right. So the pledge levels, you're talking about the Maverick. So the Maverick would be 345 is what that would bring it down to. If you applied the $100 credit to the Maverick pledge, it would be 345, which is a fantastic freaking deal. Because I've got people paying $350 for like when we go to conventions, they'll pay $350 for everything. And that doesn't include a clock tower and 3D buildings and, the unlocks of this, like anything that we unlock from this. So there's that. Let's see. Christopher says it's a bad time. You can't argue. I mean, we can't do anything with that. It's a bad economy. It's people face that. And so Patrick says the volume of emails I've received about this campaign has been a turnoff. I appreciate the need to promote it, but it's been excessive. Yeah, well, here's the thing about that. Is that the way the updates work is there's a list, and when you pledge on the campaign, it tracks that and it removes you from the list. So all you got to do, Patrick, is pledge on the campaign, back the campaign, and you won't receive any more updates. Hey yo! But outside of that, I got nothing. I gotta get the word out. There's 22,000 of you that haven't pledged. What you get with the program? So that was that. I have let's see. I had somebody else was messaging me. Oh, somebody else asked the question of why I chose BackerKit instead of like GameFound or Kickstarter. And the reason why I did that, and they were like, because you could have gotten so much more attention on these platforms. And at this day and age, I think they actually are all pretty much equal. There's a huge group of game backers on BackerKit, but BackerKit has been good to me, and Kickstarter has not. GameFound doesn't care. So I'm going to go. I danced with the ones who brung me, and so since BackerKit was handling my pledge manager, and they've held they've been hands on throughout this entire project, so they've got my business from here to the end of time. And then I think that was it for that. So okay, so that's what I had in the Facebook group. So here's what I did this poll, and you saw the poll. Did you vote yes or no?
Yes.
You did. You voted yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Not that it really affects me personally. I mean, I'm ride or die, so
exactly.
I'm getting everything regardless. By the way, I think your office looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. You like the cardboard box right there? That it's my decoration right there.
It adds a certain degree of authenticity.
Yeah, I actually, if I turn the camera around, you'll see the disaster that is on the other side of this camera. I like your. Is that Resident Evil? Nice. Then your office is amazing, sir. This is okay. That's enough. That's enough butt sniffing for a negativity stream. Okay, we need to go back to the negativity. Okay, so I have done this. I've heard people out on pledge levels. There was some requests for people who stretch goals. And look, I can't guarantee that we're going to get to stretch goals, but if that's where you go, if that's where you put your value, and you don't care about anything else, or all you care about is getting access to what's there, and you don't care about anything else, I've created 2 new pledges. They are live on the website, and so I'm going to share them right now. They're not like I listened. They're not in the image on the pledge on the front page, but if you click back it on the campaign, you'll be taken to the area where you can pledge. And I've got 2 new pledges. The first one is the Drifter pledge. I'll have images for them soon. I literally just put this up now. But for $5, this will give you access to the add-ons page. The add-ons page is where you can get whatever you want. None of the new, I mean, you can get the new stuff if you want it, but you can get all the stuff we have, everything in inventory at 20 to 25% off. It'll ship out as soon as this campaign's over because you're not waiting for it to get produced. It's already produced. It's in inventory. So this will be if that's the way you want to go. It doesn't include stretch goals. Like you're not going to get any stretch goal rewards. You just wanted the add-ons. This is what you get, but you'll get them very quick. You'll get them for a great price. You'll get them very quickly. You won't be waiting months to years to get that stuff. So there you go. $5 helps us go a long way and also gives you access to the add-ons. Boom. If you want stretch goals, I have the Prospector Pledge, and that is the stretch goal only. So what I did was I did the math on how much would it cost me to produce the first 4 stretch goals. And based on that, I set the price because this is about what it will ultimately cost me to get there. Is about $100. So $100 is basically what you're saying is I just want all the stuff that's going to be unlocked. Now we may not unlock stuff, right? So this is the risk. This is the chance. This is the chance you might be taking. But this does include all of the stretch goals, all of the stretch goal unlocks, everything that we reach. You will get that within this pledge for $100. So this could be so when we're talking about High Noon is a game of chance and risk. So
with no dice,
with no dice. So if you want to gamble with no dice, if you're a gambling person and you want to hit the High Noon Casino,
screen of the cards.
This is it right here, the Prospector. Okay, you may strike gold, or you may go home empty. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, though, if we hit funding, I'll throw you something. I will take care of the people who hit the Prospector Pledge. I just don't know with what yet. But there you go. So you've now got a myriad of opportunities, from $5 to $30, $50. like something for everybody's budget. I don't know what else to do at this point. But Strike, you know, you've always been the idea man in the Discord group. Maybe you've got an idea or two that can help us out with this campaign. No pressure.
Well, top of my head, in terms of the spread of the different pledges you have here from different budget, the only thing that I can think of possibly is if you wanted to do something like quite a bit over the top and like a design your own posse pledge, like a limited pledge where I don't know how much you'd put on it, but yeah, if somebody puts on this like maybe at max like 5 backers at this, and then that you contact with them, you can like design and develop your own custom posse or something. Obviously, nothing any copyrighted characters, but your own designs and ideas. I mean, that's the only other thing that I'd be able to really think of. Or
yeah, I had at one point I had oh shoot, I wasn't sitting there. Okay.
Maybe a Heine coloring book.
That's a great idea. I should totally do that. And I should just go on Midjourney or whatever and be like, imagine coloring book, Western, whatever. And then boom, just have it generate a bunch of AI stuff. No, I actually had on the first campaign, I had a pledge. I don't know if it was actually a pledge. I had somebody reach out to me that they wanted to be in the game and they were willing to pay to have their likeness in the game. And we had it all set up. Like they paid the money. Like I had the 3D artist do their sculpts. We had the cards all ready to go. Like we had the posse ready to go. And then the campaign got canceled. So I just gave him his money back, which sucked. But and now huh?
Do you still have all that?
I do, but now I know what it goes. Now I actually have experience in producing, this game. Back then I hadn't produced the game yet. I hadn't produced a single expansion. So now knowing what I know about what goes into producing a posse, the time, the cost, it's just the logistics of it. Like that would have to be a really big pledge. And I actually, and there was, I wanted to do a posse that was a build your own posse. I still want to do it. And it was basically like a rogues gallery. So the way the mechanic works is, you have like the gold value of each character on the card, on their character sheet, right? Mm-hmm. So you would start with, basically 6 gold worth of guys that you can buy. Like you have like 12 dudes and they're all worth whatever because they have their character sheets. And you use that against the amount of gold you can to buy them. So you start with like 6 gold worth to buy posse members. And that's your starting posse from that group. And they all feed on the same card deck. They all have their special cards. But then what you can do is throughout the game, you can take the gold that you've earned and you can buy more of the posse guys and put them in your posse. Like you're recruiting them. They're like bounty hunters that you're recruiting. And my thought was I could do like I was going to do my likeness, my father's likeness. It was going to be us. But I don't have 12 of us. So, I mean, there's plenty of room for other people if they wanted to put their likeness in the game. I guess I could do that. But that would be like they're pledging, they're putting their money on that. But that turnaround time has nothing to do with the turnaround time of the campaign. Like treat it completely separately. You know what I mean?
I mean, probably the thing that would take the most time is just the play testing and try to make sure that everything is somewhat balanced, at least. Don't want anybody creating or coming up with something that's abhorrently overpowered or lame and underpowered or whatever.
Yeah, I think, and that's I guess. So there's two avenues for this. One, I think what you're talking about is like they design like the whole posse, like the whole deck and all that
or
stuff,
no,
right?
Not necessarily by themselves. I mean, they would chat with you, emails back and forth, throwing ideas back and forth. I mean, like you obviously saw in the Discord a bunch of the ideas and things that I threw in, and the little build your own posse thing that I put in there as well, based off the information from the original 4. that were in the starter set. So, I mean, I think that's probably a good way of like starting to see about a way of balancing it out. But I'm just thinking that's just like this spitball, something potential toss out there.
I think. I mean, it's a great idea. Jesus, we can balance anything. Yeah, we got this data scientist here called Jason Smith. Jason Smith is totally not a plant that works for me. He's definitely he's definitely an organic audience member. It's not a bad idea. I don't know if I just, man, how would I make that work? Because we really be looking at, let me see something here. Hang on a second. Let me go here.
Of course, a lot of this wouldn't be a problem. Won't be a problem once I win the lottery. So, I mean, I've got tickets right now. So, I mean, I'll help you.
Nana, yes, the question got answered. The answer is no, it's not. It's the $50 is my pledge to the campaign. It's not an additional $50 off the pledge. So you get $100 credit. And if it's basically for every all-in that goes in, I pledge an additional $50 into the campaign to help us get to our goal and to stretch goals further. It's that quicker. So the Maverick pledge would become $345, not 200 and something. That was the answer. I was trying to figure out a calculation for how much. I think so. If I go to let me look up I actually have my budget for this whole production thing. Yeah. So
really quick question: these top end pledges that we're looking at, do any of these actually put someone into ride or die status, or was that like a one time thing?
Okay. No, they didn't. Yeah, no. So I could, like, if I had a pledge that was like I could produce a all right, thank you, Nana. Thank you. I could do like a pledge where they could create their own posse, but it would have to be something like 10 grand to really,
I've seen stuff like that done in a lot of other games, and I'm actually surprised how quickly sometimes those actually get filled up. I've actually seen those before. Now, are you talking like a full posse, like multiple characters, or like just like an individual?
Yeah. Okay. No, that would be a full posse.
Actually, you know what you could do? You could do two different ones. One is a full posse, and one is just like an individual character bounty hunter.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Was what we could do is for 10 grand, we could do, you create your own, I'll work with you and we create your own posse. And there you go. You got your posse in the game. The other one is, as you said, like because like I was saying, like I want to have a rogues gallery of like 12 bounty hunters in this one posse. And basically for like 3 or 4 grand, they get their guy, and I'll let them design, I'll work with them to create like a special card or 2 that are their own, that go into that posse. So there, there's that. I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think? You guys think that would be cool? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is this? I don't like. Would it put a? I don't like. Would it be? I love the idea. I just wonder why somebody would say don't do it. Why would somebody say no? Don't do that. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's not like it costs you anything putting it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, like it just costs you like the time it takes just to type it up and plop it there on the backer kit. So it's not like it really.
You know what? I think you're right. It's such a vain. Because I'm thinking the pushback has always been, well, what if nobody does it? Then it's just going to look silly that you did it and nobody pledged it. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, why did I listen to these people? Like, why did I hear those words come out of somebody's mouth and I didn't just slap them for being silly? Yeah, that's so, yeah, no, let's do it. Let's freaking do it. Like, why not? What's there to lose? What I'm going to do it unless somebody comes in the comments here and says, don't do it. And then explains why logically without the vanity. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I don't see any real reason why not. I mean, if you have a reasonable expectation in terms of how much it's going to cost and how long it's going to take, and as long as that's all talk to them and explained thoroughly ahead of time, I don't see any reason that it would detract from it. I mean, you saw some of the ideas that I put in there. I mean, I'd love to have some of my ideas put in there. Unfortunately, I don't have 10 grand sitting around to throw.
Yeah. Lynn Nick says, is that strike? Yes, it is. It is. Get in here, Nick. What are you doing? You're sitting there. Get in here and come hang with us. It's Strike in the flesh. Hey, this guy, everybody, Strike here is a celebrity. Strike has been with us from the very beginning. He was one of the most active members of our Discord group. He was always doing play testing with us. He came up with some incredible, like amazing concepts for posses. Like I look like I still love the one you did for the rioters. The
Argufy.
Yeah, the Argufy. Yes, that's awesome. That's such a great concept. I don't know if I actually. So I don't know if you saw, but in the Tabletopia map, we've got the mission deck, the bounty deck. So we got the bounty missions, and I might have used some of your ideas. I can't remember, but we'll see. There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I really haven't taken a huge look at that. And yeah, I know I haven't been as active lately as I have been previously. But hey, sorry.
Hey, life happens, brother. It's all right. Like just like this, Nick is on kid duty. Okay, Nick. All right, sure.
Who wants to sit on a baby?
That's what NyQuil is for. Goodness gracious. Don't you know? Haven't you heard of chloroform, Nick? Come on. Yeah, so this is why I get canceled. All right, cool. So that's a great idea. I'm going to put my head to it about those posse things. If anybody has any other ideas, please jump on in. And for those of you who say that like I over market or over email, you might be right. I don't know what else to do though, because out of sight, out of mind. Like you subscribed. That's the other thing is like you subscribed to this email list. You subscribed because you wanted to hear about this, and you said you were going to pledge, and then you didn't, and so now I just got to keep emailing, okay? Because you didn't do the thing. So you could always unsubscribe. There is that. You can click the unsubscribe button. I was actually thinking, like, and I'd sent out this email blast this morning about this stream, and I was thinking of putting in there, like, if you want to be off this, just let me know and I will remove you. But then I was like, no, there's 23,000 of them. There's an unsubscribe link. They can remove themselves. All right, cool. Well, that is that. I guess that I read off the comments. I'm doing what I can based on the feedback I got. As going over this again. I'll come back to this. We now have two new pledge levels. One is just $5 that gives you access to the add-ons thing. So if you just want to get, it's right there. Exactly. Yes. Hold it up there, Strike. Hold it up there. The other one is for those of you who want to take a gamble and just throw $100 in to get the stretch goals. There you go. And this also gets you access to the add-ons. So what's happening here? What this really is it's like getting the benefits of the Maverick or the Legend pledge without having to pay for all, like, let's say that you want the benefits of the Maverick and Legend pledge when it comes to the stretch goals, but you don't want everything. Okay. You don't need everything. You don't want everything. Well, that's what the prospector pledge is for. For $100.
But why would they not want everything?
You know, this is I know. Why don't you want everything? I don't know, Kroger. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't, but you know, there are some people who don't, and so that's what this is for. So if you want the benefits,
this is why I've got like some 200 survivors for Zombicide.
Do you really have 200? Do you really?
Yeah. If you want to give me a moment, I could actually look up my actual numbers.
Oh my God!
How many figs I've got?
Did you keep a spreadsheet of it?
I made up a random die roll where you could just randomly get one of them.
Of course you would. Of course you would. This guy. This is why I love Strike. Everybody. But yeah, while he looks that up, just to reiterate the thought process behind this. For $100, you get that all-in benefit perk where like anything we unlock, you get. And so if we get beyond those 4 stretch goals, you're really in the money. But it also gets you access to the add-ons. So now you can like, it's basically like you're tailoring your own all-in pledge. That's what it is. You're able to tailor your all-in pledge. Now I created these. I was hesitant to do this because I anticipated that a lot of people would be like, well, heck, then I don't need this. And they would go and cancel their pledges. And that very well might happen. But at this time, this is a risk I'm willing to take. And I have to take because, you know, this needs to be successful. I got to do everything I can to make this successful. So this is what I'm doing. Of course, if you cancel your Maverick or Legend pledge, I will be canceling my $50 pledge match. So there was that. So think about that. But those, yeah, so there you go. Those are the 2 pledges. So now you got a million different pledge options. Did you find your spreadsheet, Strike?
Yeah, I'm just actually bringing all of them up one by one.
Okay.
Because as you know, there's 4 different ones. Let's see here.
No, I didn't know that.
I'm
kidding. I take your word for it.
I hate talking about a different game, but yeah, but there's Zombicide, there's Black Plague, there's Invader, and then there's Undead or Alive.
Undead or Alive, yeah, which they totally gypped me on. I bought Undead. I went all in on Undead or Alive, and then they were like, "Oh, you didn't submit your address in time, so we're just going to refund you." I was like, "Are you gonna seriously? Like, you have the item, just send it to me. I paid for it."
I don't know. Okay, do you really want these?
I'm now morbidly curious.
Okay, in terms of number of survivors, and these are all official. This is nothing like custom made. Zombicide, I have 267 survivors. Black Plague, I have 229.
Oh my God.
For Invader, there's 110.
Wow.
And Undead or Alive, there's 100.
And these all survived the fire? These all
only a couple of them were actually I actually had at that time. Thankfully, they were kind of boxed up pretty well, and they were not in any real danger. So no, yeah, they all survived well.
Are they all in their wonderful factory gray, or have you painted all 8 billion of these survivors?
I have not painted a single one of them, no. But a lot of them are in like different color plastics. So
sure.
I do not have the patience or the skill, and I know that, to actually paint them to any degree, because if I try to paint them, I'm going to be like, oh, I need it to look absolutely perfect, and I know that there's no way I'm going to be able to satisfy my own desire for perfection on that. So I'm not even going to attempt that.
Fair enough. All right, guys. If there's nothing else for us to talk about today, I'm gonna let this go because I got a bonfire downstairs waiting with some s'mores. So, like I said, I've done everything I can to add value to this campaign. If there's any other reason why you guys are sitting on this, please just let me know. Just tell me so I can fix it. Outside of that, Strike, thanks for coming on the stream. It's always great having you. It's always great seeing you. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little concerned. I was gonna reach out and be like, hey buddy, I haven't heard from you. I haven't seen you on Discord. You okay? So I'm glad you're doing good.
Oh.
All right. Anything before we leave?
Actually, kind of a side note. I don't know if you can talk to us anything, but I remember again when you're talking about even like Sunset Riders and Konami. I don't know if there's any.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I still have those miniatures. I still have the minifigs that you got. I mean, no, there's no update from Konami. They emailed me because they weren't. They thought that I was trying to do a Kickstarter for it, and they were like, "Oh, we don't license for Kickstarters." And I was like, "I'm not a Kickstarter, dude." But I just didn't follow up any further from that because I just have so much.
Why don't you send them a copy of the game? Let them find out what the game is like.
That's not a bad idea. Whoa!
What happened?
You want to play? Are you serious? Are you serious, Nick? Are you seriously down to play a High Noon game right now? He's messaging me in the Discord. Oh, Nick is down. Nick is down to play. We may have to switch this over to a High Noon live High Noon game. Are you up for playing a game of High Noon?
Unfortunately, I'll sit. Unfortunately, I really don't have the time because I need to be up early in the morning.
Sad trombone.
Unfortunately, I am so sorry. Actually, the only reason I'm here now is because I actually had to leave work a couple hours early in order to have the time to properly.
Okay, never mind. I'm not special. Nick just wanted to play with you. He's saying next time then.
What?
You jerk, Nick. He's saying that because you can't play. He's saying we'll play next time. I know. That's what I said. What? All right. Well. That said, anybody watching, if you want to play a game of High Noon on Tabletopia, join the Discord server. We're always down to play. Nick, this is like a rare occasion that Nick is ever available to do that. Yeah. Okay. Tell you what. Nick is saying if we can find anybody else to play. So. I'll come in the Discord. I'll jump in the Discord. If there's somebody else to play, we'll do that. And then for you guys who are watching, if that happens, just subscribe to the YouTube. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel, to the High Noon YouTube channel. And if we do, and that way you'll get a notification. If we go live,
subscribe to everything.
Yes, exactly.
Everything.
Literally everything. Literally everything. Subscribe to High Noon, subscribe to Time Magazine, subscribe to the Epic Times, subscribe to it all, okay? All of it.
Would you like to join the Columbia Records Club?
Well,
hold on, I don't think I can handle that kind of a commitment.
And I never saw her again, but that's just the way things go. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, Strike. It's always good always good to see you, brother. Thank you, everybody else, for hanging out. If you have any other thoughts, emails, whatever, you can always reach out to me either here or through the Facebook or through the Discord or through anywhere. I'm always available. Outside of that, anything before we go?
Saratoga, the great state, land of opportunity, just words on paper. Out here, the land don't give nothing for free. Ain't no justice you can count on, only a struggle between the desperate and the crooked, between the gun and the badge. This land's been torn apart by outlaws and governments that don't know what side they're on. The blood-soaked ground. It's seen its share of bandits and killers, both with their own way of claiming power. But now, there's something new on the horizon. Something darker, more dangerous. When you hear that bell tower, you'll know it's High Noon. High Noon ain't just a game. It's a battle for survival. With modular tiles, every map can be what you make it. Characters have designated spaces, so loading up your posse is just a matter of seconds. Card-based combat is quick and simple, and that's just what you'll need, because time is running out. With Against the Clock, you're facing brand new territories, new challenges, and all new ways to outsmart your enemies. First, there's Purgatory, a ghost town left to rot. But in high noon, it's your new battleground. 13 tiles to change the face of the game. Dusty roads, debris scatter in the streets, and empty, hollow buildings to hide in or die in. And then there's the big prize, a 2-story ruin, letting you take the high ground, shooting from that balcony while your enemies scramble below. You can add these tiles to your maps or build your own ghost town from scratch. Whatever you choose, Purgatory's where the real fight begins. But we ain't just talking tiles. We're bringing something new to the table. Literally. 3D buildings, the bank and the jail, they rise up from the board and add a whole new dimension to your fight. Use them to replace the tiles from your starter set, or add them to make the fight more dangerous, more intense. And then, there's the clock tower, the centerpiece of this campaign. It's got 2 levels of elevation, perfect for the kind of strategy that wins shootouts. Ladders let your characters climb higher and higher, getting the advantage on anyone below. But the clock tower ain't just for looks. It's a game changer, a functional round counter for all 12 rounds of the fight. And there's more. This clock tower, it comes with a little something extra, an exclusive campaign-only weapon, a prototype machine gun, deadly as all hell, the Vindicator. But this ain't just any loot, it's legendary loot, a new class of gear that comes with its own loot crate, and everyone at the table knows where it is. You want to get your hands on the Vindicator, you're gonna have to fight for it. But the clock tower and the Vindicator, you won't see these anywhere else. This is your one shot to claim them. So what'll it be? You gonna stand tall, or fall to the dust like the rest? Against the clock, only the best will make it out alive. Just remember, partner, time waits for no one. Get ready for the fight of your life. Put your pledge on Against the Clock today.